Hi guys, how are you doing? My name is Monique, and I wanted to tell you about how my boyfriend wanted to get rid of my fat. At first glance, you can imagine my boyfriend and my fat as if in a knight's duel, valiantly fighting for every inch on my belly. It seems pretty ridiculous. But in real life, it was a little different, and now I'm going to tell you about it. I always knew how to dress so that no one saw the flaws on my body. I wore more voluminous things, combining them with accessories, and at the same time looked slim. My sister Megan taught me that, but unlike me, she was never shy about her body. And I, for the fact that I have a figure like a pear, did not go to the beach or the pool. And in general, I did not like summer because it's more difficult to hide your fat. So last fall, I got a boyfriend, Anson. He fell in love with me, as he says, at first sight. He especially liked my sense of style, my smile, and super groomed hair. Anson asked me out on a date, and we were hooked. I loved the fact that he wasn't that dumb teenager like a lot of people I knew, who have no idea how to woo a girl beautifully. He was perfect, and only Megan kept telling me not to trust him. We went shopping with her one day, and she was sitting in the fitting room with me. And then she asked, "What if your boyfriend sees your belly?" "No, I don't think it's a problem. We don't do anything, if you know what I mean." "I know, but it's not just about that. Like, summer is coming up." "I've got 3 more months till summer." "Oh, time will fly before you know it." "So what? So he'll see me and he'll see me. So what?" "I mean, sister, don't idealize him. It's only bad for you. I knew a guy like that. He loved everything about me until he saw my belly." "But you don't care." "I do. I'm fine with my figure. So I told him to go fuck himself. But you..." "What about me?" "You're embarrassed by your body. You either change the beliefs in your head or do not hold it out for a guy. Otherwise, you will get hurt." "He loves me. I'm sure even if he sees it, nothing will change." I was so sure about him that I didn't even think about anything negative. But as my sister said, spring went by so fast. At that point, we had already been dating for almost 9 months. Not bad for a first experience, right? Summer came faster than usual in our state, followed by vacation, and I started to worry more and more about my belly. I was standing there trying on my pants from last year, and they wouldn't zip up. I was panting and puffing, and nothing. Megan came into the room and saw me crying and blushing in anger. "Oh my God, what's wrong with you?" "I can't button it up." "Let me do it." She came over to me and started buttoning, and it just wouldn't fit. I yelled for her to pull. Megan tried her hardest, and then, bam, she did it. She buttoned my button. I stood up, not breathing, looked in the mirror while my sister lay on the bed and took a breath. At that moment, there was a knock on the door, and Anson came in. I didn't expect to see him. He stood there dumbfounded, looking at me. Me at him, Megan at us. And I was like, "Ants!" And then my button popped off and flew out, hitting Anson right in the forehead. He closed his eyes and was like, "Ouch!" I ran up to him. I looked at the wound. Megan threw her big shirt over me and left the room. I quickly put her shirt on, and then we sat down on the bed. "What are you doing here?" "I called you a few times, but you didn't answer. I wanted to go for a walk with you. Then I got into your house, and your mom was standing outside. She said you were in your room, and I came in." "I see." "And what were you doing here?" "I was, Your jeans are a little tight, don't you think?" "Oh yeah, I just wanted to check something out." "You've got..." And he didn't finish. He just stopped talking. And I said, "I've got what?" I knew what he meant. I got out of bed, and I was in a bad mood. Anson understood too, and rushed to give me a hug. And then he said that I was a gorgeous girl, and I just needed to lose a little weight. Ants offered to help me. "And how will you do that?" "I'll help you lose weight. I know how." I decided to try. I thought there was nothing bad about it. I should just lose some weight. Already from the next day, we started running. To be exact, Ants rode his bike, and I ran beside him. It was awful. After 100 meters, I was short of breath, all sweaty. My stomach was pounding when I was running, and I was in pain. On top of everything else, he organized my meal plan and made me drink some vitamins. After a week, I realized that was it. I couldn't do it anymore. The jogging and other physical activities tired me out so much that I was just staggering. At one of those workouts, he made me do abs. On the 55th time, I just lay on the ground and said, "That's it, I can't do it anymore." "And so, it's been a week. What are you doing?" "I can't do it anymore." "That's no good. That's no way to get anywhere." "Maybe I don't even need it." "You don't need it? You're ashamed of your belly, aren't you?" "Not anymore. I realized I'm fine with it." "Look, Monique, I'm helping you fight the fat." "So you're saying it's a burden?" I got up from the lawn in the yard where I had just done my sit-ups. There was a body mark in my place. I looked at the guy and asked again, "What's bothering you more, my fat or the fact that I'm your girlfriend?" "You don't understand. I'm trying for you." "And what if I said I was happy with my figure? What would you do then?" "How can you like being fat?" "Well, I do. If I'm fat, then go ahead and leave." "Are you kidding me?" "I'm serious." I took my towel and went home. I cried all the way there. I was sweaty, dirty, and my t-shirt was in the green grass, but I didn't care. I didn't expect to hear those words from him. Megan met me at home, and she knew right away what was wrong. She poured me tea and hugged me, and then I told her everything that happened. Megan was silent at first, and then she said one thing. "Parting is always unpleasant and sad, but it's even more painful to be with someone who doesn't accept you. Look, it's just fat. It can be removed if that's what you want. But if you don't suit your boyfriend, that's his problem." "But what about me? I love him." "Honey, love comes and goes, and you're on your own. If you want, you can rub his nose in it." "How?" "Lose weight. But you have to have your own motivation." So, I decided to do just that. My sister bought me a membership to the gym with a personal trainer who picked up my diet, from which I did not suffer from hunger, and we distributed the load evenly. I won't say it was easy, but my motivation helped. I didn't communicate once with Ants. He called, wrote, and I just ignored him. That was the hardest part, not responding, but I hung in there. Finally, after 8 months, I got results. The following summer, I had a figure I could only have dreamt of before. My fat had gone to my chest and buttocks just like I wanted. Nothing was hanging, shaky, or sticking out. I bought myself new clothes, and I could safely wear tops and t-shirts and shorts. And one day, when I was coming home from my jog, I saw Ants standing there with a huge bouquet of flowers. I got excited, but I didn't show it. "Hi."
"Hi.
"What are you doing here?"
I came to talk to you."
"About what?"
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the way I acted, and I'm embarrassed."
"Okay."
"Okay? Really?"
"Yeah, okay. Thanks for the flowers. Bye."
I mean, can we go get coffee?
"No, I don't drink coffee."
Lemonade, tea, wine?
"No, thanks." I was picking the flowers, and I was about to go home when Ants took my hand and asked me not to leave. He started saying that I had a super figure, that I was gorgeous, it wasn't his fault, and that he wished he could fix it. It was very hard and painful for me to hear those words, but I remembered his face and behavior. Whenever I would streamline afterward while running, he would just turn his face away. He was disgusted, and I became disgusted by myself. I was quiet, and then I told him, I was once told that if you're with someone you hate yourself with, someone who sees only flaws in you, that's not the person to be with. Anson didn't know what to answer, and then he started asking for forgiveness again. And then a car pulled up in front of my house, and another guy, Ross, got out.
"Hey, baby, how are you doing?"
"Hi, I'm fine. You're early today. I haven't even got in the shower yet after my run."
"Wanted to see you sooner. Are you hungry?"
"Yeah."
"And who's that?"
Ross glanced at Ants, and I said it was a messenger dropping off flowers, and he was on his way out. Ants looked me in the eye and left. I asked Ross to sit in the car. I got in the shower and I was raring to go, blowing off some steam. But I know I did the right thing. What would you have done if you were me?
Hello, everyone. My name is Angela. I want to share with you my incredible story about how I met an amazing guy despite being overweight, large hips, and a protruding stomach. Yes, it happens. It helped me not only to believe in myself, but also gave me a huge motivation to lose weight. My life has changed for the better, and I can't wait to share it with you. Well, you in turn, write an opinion in the comments, like the video, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel. In general, I was born a rather thin child. Everyone told me in my childhood that I was very thin. My mother was worried that I was not eating, but my grandmother had the biggest tantrum. As you know, grandmothers are simply obsessed with making their grandchildren eat with a bang. That's how it was with me. I grew up and the pounds went into growth, but not in the sides. Personally, I did not care about the weight. I began to worry a few years later, and the reason for this was my move to my grandmother. Yes, as you may have guessed, I lived with her and I got fat sideways. Or rather, I almost stopped fitting in doorways because of the fat on my stomach. How did it come to this? Very simple. By the way, I moved to her because my parents went abroad to work. They couldn't take me with them, so they decided to leave me with Grandma for a while. I didn't mind because I loved the old lady so much. Even though she tried to feed me forever, otherwise she was super kind. So I packed up and my parents took me to her place. We said goodbye and they left for a year. My school was not far from my grandmother's house, so it was only about 5 minutes to walk. In the morning when I woke up, my grandmother was already on her feet and was making hard-boiled pancakes, donuts, and omelets. She would serve me a whole plate and I had to eat it all. Otherwise, she would threaten that I would not go to school. For lunch, my grandmother usually wrapped me chicken or turkey with a salad and side dish, plus some fruit for dessert. It was a full meal. After lunch, when I came home from school, Grandma would make a casserole or pasta or something, and I sat with her alone and had dinner. The workload at school increased, so I had absolutely no time for walks with friends. After school, I did my homework until the evening, and then we sat down to eat until after lights out. In this mode, we lived for a whole year, and without noticing it, I began to gain extra pounds. Yes, at first I didn't notice how my cheeks were rounded, my stomach appeared. I noticed this only closer to the summer, when it was time for light t-shirts and thin jeans. Imagine! I took out last year's summer clothes and realized that I did not fit into them. With horror in my eyes, I walked over to the mirror and stared at my thighs, where my jeans were stuck, and my breasts, which just wanted to tear my t-shirt. I took off my clothes and began to look at the reflection, and it seemed to me that there was another person standing there. Really, for a year, my body had changed so much, and then I started to analyze my entire lifestyle recently and was upset. My grandmother immediately ran into the room, and I accused her for being like this. She was confused, and I began to eat even more from resentment and depression. I didn't need to be told to finish my meal, because I had turned into a locust and was eating everything that was edible. My figure became even wider, and it was a vicious circle. In the end, everything affected my self-esteem. And since we became more mature, the guys already arranged interesting parties to which I was invited. I went, but no one met me from the guys. My girlfriends comforted me, and I continued to eat. So another 6 months passed. My parents stayed late, and I ate and ate. So it was until one day when I was sitting in a cafe with friends, and a guy came up to us. His name was Derek. He sat down next to us and spoke. I thought he was hitting on my girlfriend, but to the surprise of everyone, including me, he asked my name. Incredulously, I met him. It seemed to me that he was playing a joke or wants to crack. I felt a growing sense of hunger inside me. It happened whenever I was nervous. In general, it did not take long, and we began to date. Yes, he was the bomb. Derek is a handsome guy with a toned body. He accepted me for who I am and did not even try to make adjustments to my appearance. Not only was I shocked, but so were my friends. Everyone looked at our relationship as a comedy. Someone assumed that I was rich and buying it, but this was not true. Derek always said I was beautiful, and his words really made me think that I was no worse than anyone else. So I began to develop a sense of confidence. I realized that Derek had genuine feelings for me, and I decided to trust him. He never said hurtful words to me, did not reproach me for being overweight, often bought goodies and found time to listen. I didn't know what kind of actions I'd met him for, but I was happy to have him. Once I went with him to the wedding of his friend, and there was a great photo shoot. I was wearing a pink floor-length dress, had my hair done up nicely, and I felt great. The evening was not without gossip about our relationship, but I tried to ignore it, as did Derek himself. We just enjoyed each other. So it was until I received photos from the event. There was a super photographer who is famous for his work all over the country. I would have liked to invite him to my house or hire him for a photo shoot, but his work was sky high. So here's what I'm getting at. Despite the fact that his work is gorgeous and does not require any criticism, when I saw our photos, I was horrified. In the photos, I looked like a pig. And yes, I'm not exaggerating. I was in shock and I just wanted to cry and cry. In my pink dress, instead of looking like a goddess, I actually looked like a pig. Derek reassured me, but at that moment I made an important decision to radically change and work hard on myself. The very next day, I signed up to work out at the gym without telling anyone. I picked up a diet and I pulled myself together. And you know what? It's never been so hard for me. Each training session was harder than the last, my body ached, and I was terribly hungry. I wanted to give up every time, but I forced myself to get up and go to training. I didn't want to change my body for anyone, not even Derek. I wanted to do it for myself, and through tears and a sincere, I don't want to, I forced myself to go to the gym, and yes, I managed. I managed to do it every time. After 2 months, I realized that I could already go to the gym with ease, ate diet food, ate right, and I already even liked it. Derek was the first to notice the change. A month later, he asked me why I lost weight, and he was right. I lost 8 kilos in 1 month, another 5 in the second, and another 3 in the next 3 months, for a total of 22 kilograms. I could see the progress immediately, and I couldn't get enough of my new body and spirit. Yes, I realized that I had also strengthened morally, and I was glad of it. Derek was always worried about me, and then he started going to the gym with me. We began to work out side by side, and it became even more pleasant to go to training. My coach praised me, but at the same time was strict. I did not relax. Well, I did not allow myself this luxury. After a year, I was completely unrecognizable, and Derek and I were such a beautiful couple. We were envied by old friends, and the new ones had no idea what I was like before. You know, I was proud to show a photo and tell a story about motivation and self-improvement. I am sure that a good example is contagious, and I hope that other girls who have problems with excess weight will support me, make the right choice, and start working on themselves too. Everyone knows that this is the hardest job. In general, guys, write your opinion in the comments, and I'm waiting for your likes.